back to back, this is what I do all day. But it beats got it sounding like a vortex. Flex.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Judah Kamanga Show. I hope you're well. So welcome. Happy New Year's, guys. I actually made a video for you guys, but I don't care for it anymore, so I'm not going to release it. It's just me explaining like the fact that I'm not quitting YouTube. And I was like, people don't even watch this for 12 minutes of me explaining what I'm going to be doing on my channel. Just watch the channel. But basically, I just wanted to say thank you all for your support from last year. I did grow a lot. I doubled my numbers, which is really great. And I hope to double them again so we can get closer and closer to our goal. Maybe triple, maybe quadruple. I don't know what to say after that. I'm good at maths, but I don't know the words. I just hope that like it keeps growing and you guys keep enjoying my content, keep engaging, keep subscribing, all those beautiful things. I'm going to be doing a lot of fun stuff, similar stuff to what I've been doing, but more like put together, more tightened up, you know what I'm saying? More like, you know. And yeah, I'm going to try to look decent most of the time, so. We're going to try, kids. You know, I was like, let me start the New Year's off with like a little drama, a little spiciness. No, I'm kidding. It's not drama per se, but I was like, let me talk about something that I've been passionate about. Let me start this year off with talking about the industry that I am going to, why I've entered, but I'm trying to like, penetrate. Sorry, I'm trying to get into, I'm sorry, I'm like 5, guys. It's difficult, you know, because I'm the type of person who's like, let's change the industry. And the industry's like, nah, we want to stay the same. And it's like kind of annoying because it's like, I have ideas that I would never get funding for because the industry doesn't allow for me to make those ideas happen. And I'm not even being like, oh, my ideas are so good and they keep rejecting me. No, it's not even that. If you're from this country and you watch a lot of content or have tried to make content in this country, you know what I'm talking about. Even if you are someone who's very okay with like diving into the content that is, if you're okay actually with writing the content that they want, there's nothing wrong with that. Please don't feel ashamed. You need your bag, you need your creative spaces, whatever. However, I feel like, you know, for a lot of us who don't necessarily want to, and if this is like, this is not saying you've sold out, I'm saying people don't want to sell out and do things different from what they want to do. It's so difficult to like enter this industry, and I've decided let me make a video talking about what the fuck is going on in the space. So the South African film industry is a very interesting space because I feel like actually before apartheid and stuff like that, you know, we did have stuff coming out, but a lot of black content was from the theater. And a lot of guerrilla filmmaking, of course, because, you know, we weren't allowed to breathe. Because we went from that to making such beautiful, beautiful content when, you know, we gained freedom. And I'm saying freedom because really, we started making really dope content, like Yizo, you know, Istingo back in the days, Generations back in the days, Scandal back in the days. I know I'm going later and later, and there's so many things. City Sesla, we had, what was this thing called? Soul Buddies. You know, we had so many different things that we could watch and could enjoy. I think a lot of us, you know, even at like, even our reality shows and stuff like that were very South African. I think there was a moment where we were so excited to, you know, make content that we were super creative. And I think those were some of the best times in South African filmmaking. In all honesty, I think that time died, for lack of a better like term for it, when telenovelas were introduced. And I don't want to be a dick. Please do not take this the wrong way. I am very much aware that people love telenovelas. I'm also very aware the career opportunities that telenovelas give to the country, and also give to different actors and stuff like that, and give to filmmakers to make money and also show their creative sides in different ways. This is not to say that telenovelas are terrible as a whole. I'm just trying to say that there's something happened. I don't really know when it was, because there was a point when I couldn't really watch TV because we got so broke that I didn't have DSTV and stuff like that. And then bam, telenovelas came. And I was like, oh damn, what is this thing, you know? Like really, in all honesty, I remember when Mzansi was introduced, I was thinking, in Mzansi Magic that is, I was excited about the fact that like we're gonna have a space where we're just gonna have so much local content, because, you know, SABC had its thing. This was still when it was kind of thriving. SABC had its thing, they had lots of different shows, and ETV had, you know, a different like narrative. And then Mzansi came through and it started with the Lokshin Bioscopes and whatnot, and we thought this would be a space where we could have opportunities for filmmakers to show their content even if they didn't have opportunities of money, so that they could one day get money, because that is how you get content. You have to have directed things and stuff like that. Like they don't give opportunities necessarily to new filmmakers. So I thought it was pretty like cool when these things came out. And then telenovela started. And if you don't know what a telenovela is, it's like a telemundo in a sense. it's like the idea of very dramatized content that spans over, like it plays every weekday. The difference between a telenovela and a soap is that a telenovela is supposed to end, which is also the problem we have, but we'll get into that. But if I'm not mistaken, the first telenovela that was really popular was Inspire. I didn't watch it again because this was the time I didn't have money for TV, so I couldn't see it. But I do remember my friends talking about Inspire a lot and how, you know, interesting and entertaining it was. And I think maybe it's not the first telenovela per se, but I really do think that it's the one that people were really like intrigued by, because, you know, Zulu people are excited when they see themselves on TV. We had some of our favorite actors who didn't, you know, who we not forgot about, but we last saw really on Generations and stuff like that coming through. So people started going on to different types of things. The Queen, The River, what was that one about boxing? That one. But like, you had so many different types of shows and stuff like that popping up. And this seemed like a very exciting opportunity because it meant that like lots of different actors could keep work for a long time, since soapies weren't doing the best since the whole generation's, you know, like actors leaving and stuff. It was just a mess. And then it seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like the idea of a telenovela became so successful that companies just wanted to fund telenovelas. There are so many telenovelas right now. I can't even keep up. Every time I hear there's a new show, it's a telenovela, and I'm just like, what is the reason? But you even had The Legacy, which sounded like an exciting idea, but then you hear it's a telenovela and you're like, dog, how far can this go? No, that don't make sense. You know what I mean? And it feels like the only way you can make money is if you have a telenovela idea. I mean, even SABC3 had a whole call for telenovelas, and it was like a big budget, and they're like, yeah, come through. And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't have any ideas in me that I need to last for 300 episodes. There is nothing at all that I need to last that long. I'm very much the type of content creator, writer, filmmaker, whatever you want to call me, who likes to keep things tight and consistent, okay? If I could make a 13-part series, maybe for 4 or 5 seasons, I'd be happy, okay? I don't need to go that long, because sometimes things need to end. Grey's Anatomy. You know, like, we just need to learn how to let go sometimes. And I feel like South Africa is like, I'm not going to let go of the telenovela until it stops making money. I'm going to hold on to it. Because, you know, The Wife just came out and everyone's so excited about this. And then I saw it's a telenovela and I'm like, I don't have the time or capacity or desire to watch a telenovela. But you're not giving me anything else. So it's kind of unfair to different audiences, right? So we had a flood of telenovelas, more like a telenovela apocalypse, a telepocalypse. The problem was that because of this, we had very, very similar themes happening within our TV shows. Everything had to be the same kind of theme because the problem was lots of broadcasters prefer things that work, right? You know, a lot of the time it meant that lots of actors in this country were being typecasted, and, you know, they only had opportunities to act as very particular things. If you're a woman lead, you're most likely the villain. Like, you don't really have much opportunity but to be the villain. And, you know, as much as like Lindy is an amazing villain on The River, you know, I definitely think that it would be great to also see Cindy Glatu in something else, for example, just to see like what else she could do, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, on Bango she was also a villain. So the problem is lots of actors started getting typecasted, and you could see the same types of, you know, characters throughout. A lot of them, as much as they acted well and all that stuff, you can see the similarities between people a lot of the times. Now, I don't know the names of many of the characters because, as I said, I don't have the capacity to watch, you know, telenovelas. But my one friend, she really watches everything because she, you know, she's within the industry. She knows a lot of the people who create these things. And when she'll show me highlights, a lot of the times if she shows me someone, I'm like, I've seen this character before. You know, the cunning aunt, I've seen her before. The drunk uncle, I've seen him before. The villain woman, I've seen her before, and the husband who knows nothing, I have seen him before. I really don't understand why we can't write diverse characters, especially because this country is full of the weirdest people. Like, if you just look at our ministers alone, you would think you would think it's a joke, because we're so addicted to what works that we're not really willing to do something risky. And this is not all the time. I mean, we had amazing shows like Intersections, beautiful show, especially season 1. Season 2 is nice, but it could never be season 1. Season 1 came through, okay? Remember when HIV came and spoke to us at the last episode? Oh my God. You know, and if you haven't watched Intersections, check it out on Netflix. It still holds up. But in the sense that, like, Intersections was so so willing to try something new instead of having one main character, one main family. So we look at how the spread of a disease goes from person to person, how intersectional, this is how their relationships work, and just how wild people are. That the characters were amazing. They were so diverse. It was so nice to see different characters who are now on lots of different shows. And we move on to things like this Twinsie, which is also amazing. They're just different things that we could have done within the country based on the fact that these other things worked, but we kind of choose not to. We choose to stay on the safe side. I mean, even something as interesting as losing Lerato was very, good. But it was so interesting to see an actor who funded his own film and how far he got and how amazing the thing turned out at the end. And I definitely feel like we have such potential in this country, but we don't have as much opportunity. Why is it that an actor must fund their own film when we have so many funding bodies in the country? The problem is we love the same themes, we love the same characters, and we love the same format, i.e. the telenovela. And it's so boring when this country is filled with such amazing creatives. Someone I'm friends with on Twitter was talking about the fact that a lot of actors don't even give their best performances because the directors only give a shit about what's happening in the cinematography or whatever. They don't care about the fact that the actor hadn't performed their best. Even maybe people like Leonardo DiCaprio need 3 takes to get the best performance out of them, because you're acting as a new character. You have to embody that person. Sometimes you just need the time to allow that to happen, which is something else we don't fucking have. Time, money, those things would be great in creating the perfect characters and the perfect content. Instead of doing that, we are stuck with having no time, having very little money, having rushed work, and that being the thing that is shown to the world as what South Africa can do. And I think that's the problem with mixing art with capitalism in general. It's always going to be my problem. I'm not saying people don't deserve money and stuff like that. I'm just saying we get too focused on the money, we forget about the art. I definitely think that we need series. Oh my god. Wow. Series, I know it's a wild concept. Series are so vast now because we have amazing things like streaming. So series can go from 3 episodes really to 24. And I think that we need more of that content because it's actually really good. We're really good at making it. We just don't have the space to make it. There are also really bad ones that we've made which suck. But it's fine because I'd rather you try. You know what I mean? There are shows out there that I just wish were never made and I wish I never laid eyes on. But you know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to blast anybody. To each their own. I'm happy you tried. I also don't think there's anything wrong with the fact that you tried and it failed. It happens. Am I being shady? I definitely think we need more series, and I definitely think that we need more themes. We have so many themes, but I'm tired of seeing the same 3 themes. Please, stop. Also, I know this might sound very wild. There is a middle class in South Africa. There is a middle section. There are other people who aren't rich and who aren't poor. I feel like they're afraid of checking out what the everyday man is like or something. I think they think we're boring. I think they think it's more interesting if we're really poor or really rich. I don't think they give a fuck if people are in the middle just trying to grind or something like that. Because it really feels like they don't give a fuck. It would be nice to see someone like myself on TV, but I guess that's asking for too much. And also, it would be nice to see some new actors. We have so many actors in this country, so many, it's ridiculous. The amount of people who go to acting school, who are in theater and stuff like that, and who also want to be on TV is ridiculous. But the fact that we have the same 5 people acting in everything, I don't understand. Because sometimes I feel let our favorites act on what they're acting on. Let them be on these bigger roles that, when you need the big name to get the viewership. Do that. But then also allow newer actors to be part of that. I would love to see more foreign people as actors and as characters and stuff like that. I know it's because this country is xenophobic, but we need to remember that we are because I know everyone watches a lot of American stuff, we're like New York a lot of the time. We have a lot of foreign nationals who live with us. So we can't pretend that these people don't exist. These people, including myself. As much as I was born here, I'm not a South African by blood. I am Malawian. People like me exist. So it doesn't make sense that, people like me don't have spaces on TV, when in reality I'm right here. for the last 26 years, nearly 27 years. And it's like the only time I see people like myself is when we're criminals. Tiring, you know, just tiring, boring. And I think the biggest thing we need is like better marketing and better timing for like our TV shows and our films, because I feel like there are a lot of films that lots of people don't even know exist. Unfortunately, things like Happiness is a Happiness Ever After, they get marketing. I'm saying unfortunately because I still cannot believe that film. Who are guys? Oh my god. Anyway, we need better marketing, because then we could have spaces like, you know, Happiness, the way people knew to watch it, people would know to watch other things if we had better marketing. But it's like people just hope that the filmmaker themselves has a big Instagram following and will just tell people to watch their film. That is stupid. I feel like we need more money so we can have better marketing. This thing of hoping that people just watch. Because the whole thing, like a lot of the time before I even got into the industry, people used to be like, oh, people never support local, you never watch our films. How must we know they're there, Greg? Where the fuck are we supposed to see these films? I also feel like the problem with our industry is that we don't give our actors enough space to shine, which is why they leave. Think about it. Me and my friend were talking about it. If Charlize Theron was still in South Africa, we all know she would have ended up on 70 Lan, and then she would have ended up on The Legacy. There's no other way between it. She would never have had the opportunity she has now to be as amazing as she is. And I completely am behind her leaving the fuck out of the States, because personally, I know it wasn't for opportunities, it was from other reasons. Her personal life was really rough, which is why people like Thuso and Mokhoso now are leaving. Well, Thuso's left and Mokhoso's leaving to go, you know, work that side. Because if Thuso stayed here, as much as she was amazing, oh my god. Anyway, but Thuso, if you ever see this, I'm working on my directing skills. And when I'm ready, and when you're ready, we're gonna make magic, even if I have to go to America. I never wanted to set foot there, but I will. I will go there for you. Also, funding opportunities for startup companies like myself, please. It is so difficult to get a proper funding opportunity for us. A lot of the times the rules are very different. The types of opportunities we get are not the same as other people. I'm not saying you must give us the biggest budget. I'm just saying we need more opportunities so we can be diverse. Because sometimes they ask for very specific things and you're like, this is not me, babes. Babes, I can't fit in here. But it's not to say they're none, it's just they're not enough, especially locally. Plus, you know, because particular places don't even read your synopsises and stuff. They just say bye, sir, or they don't even reject you. The biggest thing we also need is to find ourselves. Like, you know, South Africa, the film industry is like a baby. No, we're like 12-year-olds. You know, we're just going through many changes, and we think that one thing is working and we're sticking to it because it feels right. You know, teenage angst where you're like, I know what's right. Shut up. You can't tell me what's wrong. And then it's because you think you know what's right, but you don't. You only did one thing and it's not right. You need to just find out who you are. Because I feel a lot of the times when you look at different spaces, lots of industries, you can point out what they're good at. You know, America, good at adapting things and redoing the same shit all the fucking time. But also really good at their weird niche indie films. Love that shit, you know. They have lots of really dope directors that come from there. Britain, you know, fucking amazing content, weird ass shows, really good shows, fun, really relatable shows, just good times. I'm talking from Cold Feet. If you ever watch Cold Feet was a great show. If you ever watch Cold Feet, you know what I'm talking about. 2 Black Mirror, you know what I mean? Like 2 Lovesick. Like, you can get so many dope shows. 2 Wanderlust, which never got another season, but we move. You know, like, we don't have the same 24 hours, obviously. Because you can name what happens in other people's 24 hours, whereas here, we don't know. We need to just find out who we are. Because when I think of the South African industry, I think of inconsistency. And I'm not even trying to be a shady bitch, but come on. I think we need more broadcasters, we need more space, we need more media companies to produce work and stuff like that. I definitely don't think that this is the space where monopoly should ever exist. Okay, to kind of wrap this up so I'm not talking forever, I just think that we need to hone in what we're trying to do a lot of the time. Like, our directors need to stop being little bitches. I'm sorry. Like, and this is not all of you, but a lot of the stories we hear about the directors that we work with, a lot of them are very abusive and very much trying to get their way the whole time, when in reality, filmmaking is a team effort. You can't be here being selfish, like my vision, even my vision, Greg, even my vision. Like, I'm trying to make my job easy, your job easy, Give me the opportunity, don't be a dick. A lot of the times they try to ruin things according to what they prioritize. Again, if a director only gives a shit about how the shot looks versus how the actor's acting, they will do a shitty job and you will have subpar acting. We need to remember that at the end of the day, the first thing we should think about is creativity before money, before anything else. We need to think about the creativity because this is an art. Imagine like artists just rushed all their paintings. Nobody would buy them. And they just pumped out like lots of generic paintings. Nobody would buy them. We need to not make all our content live, love, laugh, because right now it's all seeming a bit generic. And you know, camera angles, we need better camera angles. Like 3 angles is not good enough. My brother was a cinematographer and he talks about how tired he is of having to stick to 3 types of angles every time. He would love to play around with the camera because he went to school to do that, but then you come out and you can't do that shit because they don't give you space to do that, because there's never time and there's never money. And it sucks because there is time and there is money. It's just no one wants to put it into investing in good content. You're rather invested in pumping out a lot. I think of the South African industry as like a fast fashion space. They're just putting out subpar stuff that some people want to wear instead of good stuff. They're not Ivy parking up in this bitch, you know what I mean? They're really trying to be Shein. I definitely think that they need to remember that at the end of the day, even fast fashion dies and then it's all just a waste and nobody cares and it's forgettable and nobody's going to study you at school. And do you know what I mean? Like, it sucks because I know it sounds like I'm being a bitch, but at the end of the day, I definitely think that we need to remember that people here are artists. People care about the art we're producing, and you're not going to allow us to make the art we want, so why should we care? You know what I mean? One day, some of these telenovelas, nobody's going to care. No one's like, oh yeah, I remember that telenovela. Like, no. And then some of them crash and burn, and the way they end is sad. I'm just saying that like we have so much potential, but we choose to like ignore it for money, and that is going to be our downfall, because all the good actors, directors, script writers and everyone are going to leave. Anyway, look, I definitely feel like we have potential, but now our souls are dying and we're starting to sell out and make basic shit. And I definitely think there's no reason for that. I definitely think there's space for us to make beautiful, beautiful content. Subpar stuff can exist. It happens. It happens in all industries. But I definitely think we need to focus on making some really good shit. Okay? Don't give up, kids. There is hope. Okay? My production company, no, I'm kidding. But I do hope that my production company is one of the companies that does change. Anyway, I know this was very long. The point is, what I'm trying to say is that we just need to do better, do better productions. Follow me on Instagram. I know I only have 1 post, but it's fine. It's coming. Shush. Anyway, so have a good January, guys. I mean, I'll see you again, but have a good January. In case after me saying all these things you're like, this bitch, I don't want to see her again. I still wish you a good January. I hope you have a good career, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a very like rough thing to start with, but you know, I'm doing commentary now. I'm commenting on things. So what's up? And make sure you give me a thumbs up because it helps with the algorithm and it helps me know if you liked what I'm doing. All right, bye guys.